Got a CD player in. This one's from Adcom. These were relatively high-end, more of a boutique type of CD player. And this one has no audio from the left channel. So we're going to have to tear into this one and see what's wrong with it and see if we can get it to work. I've never worked on one of these ones before. This one should be interesting to see who actually made it. Or did Adcom actually make it themselves? Or did they just get someone else to build it? Let's check it out. This is an Adcom model GCD575 CD player. And this one apparently has been modded. It's had the oversampling removed. So they called it no oversample, NOS. I always thought that meant new old stock. But apparently this has been modified. And the sample rate's been taken back down to 44.1. And I'm on the variable output on here, but I don't hear any left channel. So let's pull the top off it and see if it can spot anything obvious. So there's the unit. It's just using a run-of-the-mill pickup. Nothing special about this. Is it a standard KSS 240, I wonder? What type of pickup is this? It's a KSM 150. So it's a standard Sony pickup on this one. Now, it was playing. Why is it not playing now? This unit features the famous Philips TDA 1541A, which is the DAC that is very sought after by audiophiles. I have a, I think it's a Denon that's got the same processor in it, or the same DA converter. I think you've even got a Philips kicking around here that's got that same DAC in it. The 1541 though is one that's was very sought after because it has a sound that is very pleasing. But I only got one channel, so that's what we're digging into this one for, is one channel. Oh, one thing I noticed is this thing skips all over the map. I take it doesn't like CDRs, even though CDRs were around when this was produced. This is 1989, this CD player. Oh. I wonder if it sounds like a connection right in this area here. I think this connection's broken here. The other one's gone distorted too. What happened there? Yeah, I think we need to remove the board, because it looks like something is bad right in this area here. Maybe a connection under the jack panel is what I would think, because when I just wiggled around in this area here, the sound came back on the left channel. So I think maybe that's where our problem is on this one. I'm just going to open it up and see what's going on. Maybe just a solder connection or two or three. I think these screws have to come out. Do they have to come out? I'm not sure. I think they do. I think this is, the jacks are on a separate metal plate. Maybe not. I see a separate plate here, but whether they lift out with it or not, I don't know. I guess I have to remove all of the screws now that hold the board in place, and we'll flip the board up and take a look underneath it because the bottom does not come off on this unit. So let me just get these screws out. These ones are on standoffs. I have to show this. I just got this sent from a friend, and he's an electrician.
Holy fucking shit. We're working at a customer's house, and we just tripped the breaker, and she's like, yeah, it's down here. And something is smoking.
Oh, man.
What is going on here? Holy fuck. Look what they did. This is coming from down here. They got their water lines running. It's just right in the freaking bathroom. Look at this.
Oh, I needed a laugh. That's a good one.
Up here.
So this unit really was modded. They've got, looks like they've put a little IC down here with some tape over it and wired it up to various points on the board. But there's a little IC that's been added. You can see it right there, little dip that's just been thrown on the board and stuck down with Scotch tape, basically. Got that wonderful circuit glue that's turning brown on here, which causes nothing but headaches. But that's not what we're looking at. And they put a bunch of capacitors over here. They put a bunch of bypass caps on here. But that's not what we're looking at. We're looking for a bad connection over here near the outputs, because when I moved them, it cut in and out. So maybe we have a cracked connection down here. I'm just going to reflow the output terminals and the plugs that go back to the variable output and the fixed outputs, because this is where I was poking around when it came back on. I mean, somebody's been soldering in here before, so I'm just going to go over. Maybe it's just cracked under the solder that's been added, because somebody's definitely been in here before. This is the left channel here. It's marked. I'll also resolder these relays. I think these are probably mute relays to kill the sound, like to mute it between tracks and so forth. And even though somebody did go over the regulators, I'm going to go over them again. I think somebody's gone over a few connections on here, so obviously this has been worked on. It's been modified too, so. worried. I'm going to put this back in and try it and see whether I get both channels. What is the world coming to? Kid delivered the newspaper, the local rag. And he's getting a ride. His mother's driving him around in her car so he can deliver his newspapers. Like when I was a kid, I had a paper route. The papers were dropped off at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And I had to get up and sort through all the papers, about 120 of them, load them up into the carrier on my bicycle, and then head out at like 6 o'clock in the morning so I could ride out on my route, deliver the papers, and get home, and then go to school. Plug this in again. I'll try both the variable and the non-variable, the fixed outputs. We'll just put these screws in here just to hold the jack panel back. It doesn't like this disc, that's for sure. Why don't I have any sound at all? Nothing's unplugged. Everything's plugged in. Why no sound? Okay. That's new. I guess I broke it. Okay, it looks like there's a broken ground here. That's where I said I thought it looks like a bad connection. It looks like it indeed is. It's the ground to regulator. If we look at it here, I got continuity around it, but nothing on the ground pin. That should be grounded. That's ground. Pin 2 should be grounded. It's not. Right, like the other regulators here. That's grounded, right? This one's not. That's where the problem is, I think, for why it's got no sound at all. At least I think that's what's happened. I'm just going to repair that with a jumper wire to make sure that ground is good. Okay. That should restore that ground. Okay, so the ground is restored. I'll mount the board again and test it again. See if my sound comes back. Reading the disc. I have any sound. Why do I not have any sound? Like nothing's unplugged. I should have sound. Hmm. $17 volts. What's the regulator here? This is probably grounded. The chassis. It's not grounded. Let's find a source of ground for our reference. You would think that ground is ground, but it's not. The chassis is not grounded. It's isolated on this thing. That is interesting. This should be the ground trace here off of the rectifiers. These wires in the middle should be grounded actually. These black wires should be ground. I guess that's what grounds this to the chassis, is that screw. And that screw's not in. And see, now I got a ground there, but I don't have a ground here because that ground screw's not in. Okay. That explains it, why I'm not getting the right voltages measured. This screw here also has to be tight because that's what's giving the ground down to this chassis. That's a kind of an odd design, isn't it? I'll just clip a ground wire on here and ground my probe for voltage measurement. Okay, power away. What do we got here? I should have 14 volts there. This one here should be 5 volts, which it is. This one here is going to be a negative supply. Should be a negative supply. Minus 15, minus 5. Okay, that works. So what's going on here? What's this one? 14. 21 down to 15 volts, and this is the negative side, minus 20, and this is down to minus 15. So my voltages are there. It's not like I'm losing any voltage. There's my 5-volt supply there, my negative 5 over there, 21 and negative 20. That's before regulation. This is the 15-volt supply, and this is the negative 15 supply. So my voltages are there. Why am I not getting sound? What's this one? 9 volts, 5 volts. That's a 5-volt regulator. Is there a negative supply over here too? Negative 5. Yeah, that regulator's working. So why don't I have sound? That is just bizarre. Well, let's just plug it in again and see what happens. Okay, what the hell? I got sound on both channels. That's the fixed output. Let's try the variable output. Okay, well, I've got sound now, so I don't know what the hell happened there. Unless there was a wire that was pinched under this ground when I screwed this down. Because I noticed some of those mod wires they were under the tape, but they were under here, so maybe one of the wires got caught. I don't know. That's a weird one, that. Because I didn't do anything, right? Other than take it apart, and I mean, yeah, that one 5-volt ground was bad. I fixed that. I still didn't get any sound initially. Took it apart again, just kind of looked at everything, couldn't see anything. Measured the voltages, my regulators were all working. And then put the board back in and I got sound. And more importantly, I have sound on both channels. So I'll put these wire clips in place. Yeah, it's really touchy with CDRs. This laser might be on its last legs. Fortunately, I don't think the guy that owns it plays CDRs. Maybe he does. I'll try a different disc. This one's kind of beat up. This was a pretty sad shape, this one. Put in one of the dark discs. This one's got a fair number of scratches on it. And it's one of the lighter discs, which are typically harder to read. Yeah, see? Much better. It's just some of these light discs like this are very difficult to read, especially when it's got some big gouges in it, so that's doing a little better. I can hear what sounds like a slight tracking error. I'm going to put a regular disc in it and not a CDR. And obviously I won't be able to play it, but I wanted to make sure it's not skipping. Oh, listen to all that flutter. Must have been an analog recording. Seems to be playing okay. Yeah, it seems to be playing okay. Stamp disc is fine. Anyway, this wasn't brought to me for skipping or anything. This was brought to me because the left channel wasn't working, which it is now. So I'm going to say this one's fixed. Thanks for watching.